Hello, this is Seven Sails. I'm going to do a game overview. So right now we've already had the board set up. This is its starting state. Those are pirate deck cards. Here are the player cards. Each player starts with a fort and a ship, which correspond to these pieces. This is a fort. This is a ship. We have loot tokens all around the board. The objective of the game is to get to 24 total loot and get your ship, which is your only movable piece, back to your fort after you collect all those. Each player is going to start with a certain amount of loot based on the number of players. We have 3 players, so we're going to start with 6 loot tokens, and those belong on your fort. And you can see here we only have 14 max that the fort can hold and 10 max that the ship can hold. So that totals to 24, and that starts the game. So to begin with, someone's going to want to recruit. We'll start off with the black team right here. So how recruiting works is there's a cost for each one that you look here. And then you look at the number of loot you have, and that's how much you can get. You don't trade in your loot. It's sort of like a salary cap. So to begin with, everyone's probably going to want to choose a captain. You don't have to, but they are the best cards, and they're all unique. So you have Kraken, Shang-Chi, Annie-Bonnie, Calico Jack, Redbeard, Davy Jones, and Blackbeard, each with different properties. So we're just going to go with Annie-Bonnie here. So she costs 4, so I can go ahead and put her on my ship. And go over the stats real fast. The first one is your movement. The second one is your range. The third one is the number of cannons you can fire, which correspond to the number of dice you can roll when you attack. And the third one is your accuracy, which is which dice correlate to hits or misses. So we still have 2 left to recruit. So we still have 2 more gold left. So I'm going to go ahead and recruit a sniper for some more accuracy. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on my ship. And your fort and your ship both have different crews. So I could have left it on my fort, but I'm going to go ahead and be aggressive. So I've got 4 movement. So I'm going to go ahead, and you don't roll, you just move. So for movement, I'm going to go ahead and do 1, 2, and that would be it. Okay, now that everyone has done a turn, as you can see here, we've all moved out and have recruited pirates. It is backed to player 1. We've also moved the round token to the next spot. And so now this turn, since I'm actually on a loot token, I can now actually pick up this loot. So at the beginning of the turn, black will just pick up the loot token, and they will put it into their ship's cargo. And now I can have the chance to recruit. But you know what? I only have 1 gold. I can only pick up a deckhand. I'm really not going to recruit. I'm going to go ahead and just, again, I have 4 movement. So I can go 4 spots, and I'm going to go ahead and go into this 2-1. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. And it will continue likewise. Okay, so we're further along in the game now, and it is actually blue's turn. And green has actually gotten a little too close, and blue is going to take advantage of that. So it is blue turn. So they're going to pick up this loot token. They're going to the recruit, but they are going to move and attack. So now, so they have 4 movement and 3 range. So blue is going to go and move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now they are 3 away. They're 1, 2, 3, which they have 3 range. So now they're going to fire. So how they fire is blue has 3 guns and 3 accuracy. But because they moved, they actually -1 accuracy. So they're going to be rolling 3 dice trying to shoot for a 2 or a 1. So it's 2 or 1 lower. So they have 3 dice here. So going to go ahead and roll. And it looks like we actually hit 1 time and missed twice. So if blue didn't move, this would have counted as a hit. So what happens is we go to green. And since green has 1 hit, each pirate is worth 1 health. Green gets to choose which pirate dies, so it got hit once. So we're going to go ahead and remove this helmsman here. It just goes back to the pile. And now green has a chance to retaliate if they're within range. So it looks like green's range is 4, which is well within reach. So green is going to fire all of their guns, which is 2, and half of their accuracy round down because they've just been fired upon. They're not as accurate. So we're just going to roll a 3, 4, 1. So kind of similar. So landing to 622, those are all misses, and blue is fine. And that is how you do a basic engagement. Okay, so we're a couple turns in, and green has run away to go back to the fort. Blue went to go get another token, and black now is ready to take advantage of the situation. So black is actually at a neutral port, which means they can recruit here, but they can also do something else. They can teleport to any other unoccupied port, and black is going to take advantage of that to fire on blue. So first, they're going to recruit. So black has a lot more gold now, so they're going to go ahead and get a first mate and put it on the ship to up those stats. And then they're going to move. So it takes the entire move to move. So you just teleport to the spot you're going to go, and then black will be able to fire. So one thing about this as well is blue went to go get a loot on a land piece, which means they cannot return fire. So black is going to completely take advantage of the situation. So right now black has definitely within range, has 3 range and only 1 tile away, has 4 cannons, so we'll be rolling 4 dice, has 5 accuracy, but because they moved and a teleport counts as well, it's going to still be -1, so they're going to be rolling 4 dice, shooting for a 4 or below. So let's take these 4 dice. And it looks like we have 3 bullseyes and 1 miss, so that is 3 hits. So if we go back to blue, they only have 2 pirates and they have 1 ship. A ship also counts for health, but that is a complete knockout. So when that happens, you take all the pirates off, put them back. So you got Redbeard, Helmsman, and then when the player, so if the player has loot on them like they do here, the player who killed that or sunk that ship gets 1 of the loot. So black is going to go ahead and claim this 2 loot, put it on their boat. And then the rest of the loot will go onto the tile that the ship sunk at. So right here, it's going to stack on top. And then blue has to respawns all the way back home. And that was a good move for black. Okay, so we're in a few turns later, and now we're actually at the end of the series of the rounds. So when that happens, before everyone starts, when this moves over to the next top, we actually spawned our first navy and treasure chest, the 4 loot token. So what we'll do is the player who, any player can just roll 1 of the dice, and this is going to correspond to where the navy spawns. So it actually is pretty dangerous to be near a port when this happens. So let's just assume for this gameplay, we rolled a 2. So we get a 2 right there. And so bad luck for black. Black stayed around, was pretty greedy after taking over blue, and is going to pay for the price. So a 4 goes to the 2 spawn, and then a navy spawns at the port. And what the navy does, it is has 3 range, has 3 guns, 3 accuracy, and 3 life. And it will attack anybody before their turn that's within range. So obviously black is in range. Black is on the green as well, so will not be able to return fire. So it is pretty much could be screwed right there. So what happens is, so it actually is black's turn since they started. Any other player can grab 3 dice, and they're going to roll for the navy. And the navy completely whiffs. So black is completely okay, which is good if you're black. But because you're on land piece, they will not be able to refire. And that is how you spawn the navy. Okay, so we are still in the same turn. So black had just been fired upon the navy, and now it's back to them. So let's just see how they deal with this. So black's turn, they're going to go ahead and loot. But you see there's a 3-to-1. When they're stacked like this, the player actually gets to choose which one, but they can only do 1 at a time. So black actually already has quite a bit of loot. So they can only have max 10 on their ship, so they can't pick up more than they hold. So they have right here 5, 7, 8, but there's only a 3-to-1. So you can't straight up pick the 3 up, so you might have to pick up the 1. But what they can do is they can actually play a little math and drop the 1 at the same time as they pick up the 3. So you can move loot around during this phase. So right now, then they're completely maxed out. They have 10, they drop that stuff, and now black kind of wants to get out. They're kind of full, they need to get out. So black has 5 movement, and so they're just going to avoid the navy altogether and try to make a clean escape. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll get out of there. So it is now within the same round, but it is green's turn. So since green is actually back at their fort, they can actually drop off some loot. So green had 6 loot on their ship, and they're going to want to put that in their fort, which is a little bit safer. So they can just go ahead and move all this stuff over as long as it's less than total 14. So this makes a total of 12 on their fort, and so now they can do that. And at the same time, they're going to go ahead and recruit. So they can recruit 1 for each. So they're going to go ahead and get a first mate. And they're going to go ahead and get another first mate for their fort. And then they're going to move out. So they also see that black is trying to make an escape, and that they actually might have the opportunity to go intercept that and take them out while their loot is pretty full and take advantage of that. So green has 4 or 5 movement, and also has a lot of range. So can stay far away from that. So let's just go ahead and move green as far away from black, but enough to shoot them. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, which gives us 1, 2, 3, 4. Black only has 3 range, so that's outside of black's range, which is great. And they're going to go ahead and fire. So they have 4 guns, 3 accuracy, but they moved, so now they only have 2 accuracy. So we're going to run 4 for 2. And we got no hits, completely missed. But since black is out of range, they won't get the fire back. A few more turns have passed, and now it is blue turn. Blue is back at their fort. So we're going to do sort of what we did last time. We're going to move over some loot to protect it. But we're also going to move over this first mate. And we're going to recruit another sniper. And blue is actually going to try to take down that navy to go after that 4 piece, which is being protected. So blue has 4 movement. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And they have 3 range, so it is within it. And so they're going to fire. So blue has 6 guns and has 5 accuracy. So -1 for moving. So we're going to roll 6 dice for 4 accuracy right now. And to kill a navy, you need to get 3 simultaneous hits to take down the navy. So we'll see if that happens. So looking at it, looks like we have 1, 2, 3. So we are good. So the navy is destroyed and is removed from the board. And then the 4 loot is now open. So we are back to the next round, or to going to the start of the round. And since the prior one was 1, we actually now spawn 2 instead. So we're going to move this over, and now we're going to roll 2 dice to see where to spawn the next things. So right there we have a 3 and a 5. So we go ahead and just take 2 of these and put them at the 3 and at the 5. Looks like those are safes. And then we take the chests and put them at the 3 and at the 5. And that's that. And that continues until every single time we get there, we'll just keep adding 1 and adding 1. And when the board ever fills up with all of the navy, the game actually ends, and the person with the highest loot wins as well as an alternative ending. So the game has progressed a little bit further, and we actually have blue entering into black's fort. So when there can only be 1 ship per tile, but this is okay. So black's ship is not at their fort. Anyone can enter any other fort. And when this happens, if you survive until the next turn, instead of looting a loot token, blue will actually be able to grab one of black's tokens. And since black hasn't really been putting any pirates on their fort, it's going to be a pretty easy thing. So blue is just going to stay there. And let's say it becomes black's turn next. Let's say black will recruit, he's pretty mad. He's going to go ahead and recruit a first mate, and then can fire. So there's 2 guns and 2 accuracy. And since the fort doesn't move, it can be full 2-2. So we're going to go ahead and roll 2-2. We did get a shot. So blue over here will lose 1 of their pirates, but not a big deal. Lots of pirates there. Blue can still counter fire and kind of remove that pirate. So blue has 6 for 5, round down, that's 2. So 6 for 2, just to clear those pirates out. Lots of 2 hits there. So you can't destroy the fort, but you can remove its pirates just for next time. So this pirate got removed. So let's say continued. It's back to Blue's turn. Blue survived the gauntlet and is now able to claim one of the loot tokens and can put it back on their ship and can get out of there. So Blue has 4 movement. Blue just stole one. They can stay if they want to, or they can just hightail it out of there. So let's just say we're going to move out. 1, 2, 3, 4, and Blue is now out of there. So we have come to the end. It is Green's turn. They have filled up their fort with 14. They have 9 on their ship. It's the beginning of their turn. They're going to loot this one. They're going to put it on their ship, which makes 10. And all they have to do now is move back into their forts. And that is the end of the game. And that is a overview of the game mechanics in 7 Sails. Thank you.